Welcome everyone to the new episode of the Definitive Crusade. I'm your host, joining Machine Hughes, and joining me this week, one of my crusading colleagues. It's Freya. Freya, how's it going?
It's going great. It's absolutely freezing here.
Well, spring has sprung in the northeast of England. I have spent the afternoon on the beach, knee deep in seawater, chasing balls with my dog. So,
Aww.
So that's cool. Of course, it's cold in other places in the States. So, I hope everyone's taking care and making sure that they're safe and the families are safe. Whilst you're huddled up, we're going to talk about some comic books. The observant of you will notice that we're down a person, but we're not mad about it. Not at all.
It's called karma.
Yeah. Whew, you pick that book, that's what happens to you. Right. Hopefully it won't come and bite us in the ass next month when issue 19 comes out. There you go. There's a clue. Go and check it out. What you think we're talking about. We're not going to tell you. All right. So this time around, we've got 3 books to talk about. One's a giant-sized book. One's caught in controversy, and one, well, the last one, the first part surprised us. So it seemed like a good time to kind of dip our toe back into this. All right. So let us start, shall we? And we will start off with the very first of our books, which is not there. We're talking about Love is a Battlefield, the DC book, correct?
Yep.
Excellent. So, Freya, this was your choice. So why don't you tell me about this whilst I find the picture for everybody who wants to have a look at it. There we go.
So this Ta-da. Is the oh yay! Ta-da. Yeah. Ta-da. So honestly, I actually kind of like the cover because it gives me Little Shop of Horror vibes.
Yeah, I get that. That's the cover is a pretty good blast. Like, I must admit, I like the cover.
Yeah. So unfortunately, the rest of the book. I know. It's one of those things that you just like, you want the cover in like a poster that you can hang on your wall, but the rest of it, you're like, meh. So, the first, it's essentially just a bunch of short stories of like different relationships and relationships I didn't know existed.
Okay. Yeah. There's a couple in there that kind of make you go, really? Okay.
Cool. Yeah, okay. So they brought back Catwoman's awful freaking armpit.
Did they?
I hate it so much. And they have Polka Dot Man, so I guess I don't know. I can't take this. I don't think they meant for any of this to be taken seriously. So I'm giving them a pass on a lot of things because it's obviously a joke. Except I don't understand why they're going to Zeus's wedding, but they're all in their villain costumes. I mean, it's guys, and you all know who you each other are because you go to Arkham together. It's not like it's a surprise. Even the general public knows who these people are. They're like, yeah, Edward Nygma is the Riddler. Selena Kyle's Catwoman. Everyone freaking knows this, and so it's like we're gonna go in costume. I did enjoy Bruce being Matches Malone again, but like it's one of those things like, let me throw on a mustache and a pair of glasses and no one will know it's me. I'm like, you're freaking Bruce Wayne. Everyone knows who you are. You can't just stick a mustache on and a pair of glasses and like, I'm a completely different person now.
Wait a minute. Superman gets away with it.
Well, Superman, in one of the comics, he says that he's casting an illusion over himself. That's why they can't tell it's him.
It's like some sort of like Kryptonian hypnosis-y type thing, isn't it? They said years ago.
At least they explained that. This is just freaking Batman, and he literally has a stuck-on mustache and a pair of glasses and a used car salesman suit. But like, you're still Bruce Wayne, dude. You didn't even it's no. But and then they have this little dance routine, and like I said, I'm just giving it a pass on a lot of things because it's ridiculous. I don't even know the point why he was there.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on this one because you start with Batman Catwoman because you know that's the in couple. But then by the time I was finished with it, I was like, what? Why? But you know.
Yeah, they have like a battle to the death at the end. I'm like, what was? And he like had the Shazam moment where he's dressed as Matthew Malone, and then like he gets hit by Zeus's lightning, and then all of a sudden he's in the bat suit, and I'm like, how did you do that? You're not freaking Superman.
Yeah.
You're not Shazam. So how did you do that?
I remember I like those. I don't know if you read them, but I like those like really old. Well, not really old, but I suppose the late 70s, early 80s Batman comics before he got like super dark through Frank Miller and stuff, where he'd be wearing like a complete fake mask of somebody, and then he'd pull like the fake face off, Mission Impossible style, and he'd be wearing his Batman cowl underneath it, and he'd be like, "How did you hide those ears? Come on, really? What's going on there?"
They're very flexible.
That's one way of putting. That's one way of calling it. Yeah, flexible.
Yeah. But that whole story, I gave it a pass because it's meant to be ridiculous and it was fun. Now, moving on to the Wonder Woman and
okay,
Trevor. That first of all,
let me get there.
Oh, cool. Like the first page, they just have their eyes closed. Everyone has their eyes closed. That's
so they can take a surprise at what's coming for dinner.
Oh yeah, like the next page when they open their eyes and then all of a sudden it looks like an Archie's comic.
Yeah, I've got to say I don't understand the art on this bit here at all. No. It's quite the first that first page there, and we'll give out some credits towards the end of this because there are shed loads. But yeah, somewhere along the line, it goes from like quite Darwin Cook-esque, nice open page, and then boom. I mean, come on. Look, come on. Oh, bonkers.
Yeah, and Diana also has a Shazam moment where, she's wearing this nice slinky black and blue dress, and all of a sudden she's in her Wonder Woman outfit, her armor. I'm like, that.
Well, she is wearing that really trendy handbag looking thing. That could be the lasso that's the shoulder strap.
Not just I get if you have to fill in the plot holes for the story, it's not a very
That's a fair shout. Yeah, I want to comment that don't have to plot myself, please.
If you have to explain something, Also, there's this part that I hate more than anything. It's page. I want to say page 14, where Diana's like jumping up, and she has the ice. Yeah. So her head, she's having a Batman moment where her entire face is like shrouded in shadows, and you only see like the Batman eyes for some reason, but the rest of her body is not in shadows. And in fact, if you actually look at where the shadows are on the rest of the body, her face shouldn't be in shadow at all. The shadows behind her, not in front of her. So I don't know if they're saying that one, either her chest is so big it's casting a shadow over her face, or I don't know.
Wait a minute, that's Power Girl territory, surely. It's got to be, right?
Yeah.
Bring back Power Girl.
Power Girl. I do like Power Girl, so yeah, I agree. But yeah, this whole thing. Also, if your hand gets encased in ice, I mean, Diana, I'm giving a pass because it's freaking Diana, but Steve Trevor, he's losing that freaking hand.
Yeah. Mind you, we say that we've seen plenty of Mr. Freeze's victims get de-thawed quite readily, and so I think ice in the DC world is different to the ice that's in the Dallas world right now.
Yeah.
So, just saying.
No. Also, I don't understand the ending.
Okay, let's have a look.
With the whole, like, Diana defeats the snowman, whatever, and then Steve Trevor says, "Oh, so your snowman's a snow girl," and she's like, "I'm gender fluid," and this guy goes, "I'm gender fluid too." I'm like, what the hell just happened? Who goes up to the supervillain and goes, "Oh, I'm a female too. I'm a dude too. Let's be buddies." I'm like, she tried to kill you all just like 9 seconds ago. Or sorry, they well, they don't say their pronouns. I don't freaking know.
Yeah.
So and then Diana just lets. Oh, yep. Oh, don't worry. They're gender fluid. Oh, I'm sorry, Diana. Okay, you can go. Bye. You just destroyed this entire restaurant and tried to kill people. Bye. You're gender fluid. Okay, bye. What was that?
It's DC at its inclusive best and worst. There you go. The idea of putting gender fluid characters in and then having to justify it, and then the one thing that knocks me about it is that they automatically think that just because one person's gender fluid, they're automatically going to get on with somebody else who's gender fluid. It's like, surely it doesn't work like that. That must mean that, every woman I meet must want to sleep with me, right? Because that's the way it works, right? It's going to be, yeah.
No, it's like I am a female, biological and whatever. So, but I hate, like, I have very few female friends because I hate spending time with other females. I just do not like, maybe because I don't like the same things as them or whatnot, and I've spent more time around guys, but almost like 95% of my friends are male. I mean, just because I'm a female doesn't mean I want to spend time with other females,
Yeah.
Like, just because, and it's the same thing, like my lesbian friends, they're not only friends with lesbians, but like, it's not like, oh, you can't, if you have to spend time with people who are like you, and that's just freaking stupid and ridiculous.
Yeah. It's a thing, because I remember back in the Flash wedding on the TV show, when they all went to the alternative universe, Sarah bumped into Alex from the Supergirl show.
Yeah.
And because they were both lesbians, they both ended up sleeping together. I'm like, well, hold on a second. Straight people don't always, it doesn't always like go, oh, hey, I'm straight, you straight. Yeah, cool, let's have sex. Poof. It does not how it works. I just find the whole thing. If you're going to do it right. Don't play the lowest common denominator.
Yeah, it's kind of insulting if you really think about it, because it's also what happened to Batwoman. I'm like, it's not like, when a straight person comes across another straight person, like, all right, we got to bang now,
Yeah, it's just you've got to applaud DC for trying, but it's like one of those. It is the weirdest exam mark. You get an E, also you get an F because it sucks, but you get an A for trying. So well done, A for effort. It's like crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm not even I'll give them a C- for effort, because that is just like the most minimal effort possible.
I'll give you that. It's a £9 page, so it's like, you're just winding me up on purpose now. I'm sure you just picked it out, just how much I love £9 pages. Yeah, I don't
know. But anyway, and then the next one's Amanda Waller, which is a little bit more interesting, but also like a toxic relationship, because they're like screaming at each other, and then it's like one of those like now kiss moments.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be honest with you with this, because I read the Batman Catwoman one. That's fine. Of course, it's bats and cats. That's fine. I read the Wonder Woman one. As soon as I hit this one, I started picking and choosing, and I chose not to. I was like, I'll just flick through this. Two characters that could not interest me less. Well, until you get to the Kid Flash story.
Yeah, I very much skimmed the Kid Flash story, because I didn't know it was actually a Kid Flash story, because in the first page, I thought he was a chick with that like really arched, beautiful eyebrow going on and the lip, and I'm like, oh, who's this?
Yes, this character? And
then all of a sudden we go over, and I'm like, oh, that's Wally.
All right. Let's give some credit where credit's due for this then, I think. Let me just get back to the title page, which is somewhere down there. Boom. There you go. So let's give out some names. So we talked about Batman, Catwoman. So that was Perfect Matches, written by Christos Cage. Artist was I'm going to say Zermanico. Apologies if I got it wrong. Colorist was Rumala Fajardo Jr. Letter is a Tripatiri. We talked about Wonder Woman. So right is Crystal Fraser. Artist by Juan Gideon. Or Gideon even. Colorist Ulysses Ariola, and letters by Marshall Dillon. Let's see. So where did you stop next? Kid Flash. Kid Flash Red Arrow. Marquis de Draper. Pop Mian and Chris Sotomayor on colours, Rob Lee on letters. Okay, cool. Where else did you stop in this battlefield of love?
I very quickly skimmed the Poison Ivy one.
You didn't like the Harley Quinn Poison Ivy one.
I hate Harley Quinn, so why would I?
I know, but it's a sweet little story. So for me, this. So we'll give out Tim Seeley is the writer, Rebecca Isaacs is the artist, Kurt Mitchell Russell for colorists, and letters Travis Lanham. Thank you for having names I can pronounce for a start. That's good. Cool. High fives all around. For me, this story, it was just, I get it. It was a bit bonkers because it's all like, oh, do you remember this? Do you remember that? Do you remember the other time? But the last panel, that's what love is, you know?
Yeah.
So I can find you sooner. I was like, oh, you know, it just shows of all the grief that the two have gone through, and now they've kind of made the way and they know where they're going to be. I just think it's a really, let's see if we can get to it because it's there. You go. I want to find you early. Oh, earlier. How's that nice? That's what love is, isn't it?
That's sweet.
Yeah.
I did skim it though, but that is sweet. I read more of that than I did the Hawkman one.
See, I don't mind a little bit of Hawkman. I'm not going to lie. Kevin Scott, Jose Luis on pencils, Jonas Trinandi on inkers. I've now said that wrong. Rex Lucas, colorist, and letterer is Carlos M. Mangle, who does a lot of stuff for Dynamite and some of the smaller indie books. So, it's good to see Carlos getting some Big Two love. See, I have one problem with the Hawkman one. I mean, to me, the art looked great. So well done. Yeah. I thought the art was probably the best art out of the ones we've talked about so far. But they board the ship, right? They board the ship, and they're there to try and save it so it doesn't go like Pete Tong and doesn't go where it's not supposed to go, and which is fine. I get it, and they've got nice little snapshots of where they are in the past and stuff. But when you look at it, boom, they just veer it off somewhere else. Where's the spaceship going? Which other planet could it crash into? Talk about being irresponsible. Irresponsible. Did you not like it then? I mean, the art's better. The art, look at the art.
The art, cool. I did like the art, but like you said, it's just, of course they're going to crash into Earth because everything happens on Earth. We can't possibly have it happen.
Hey, I've seen Doctor Who. Everything happens on Earth.
I know. That's my main issue with Doctor Who. I'm like, go somewhere else.
Yeah. Why is it always London? Why is it always
London?
Damn you, Doctor.
Cool. I took so the last story, I took one look at it and went, no.
Okay, cool.
Even though I like Mr. Miracle and Big Barda they're like my favorite DC couple. It's just, this art style is not for me. Made Barda look ugly. They made him look terrible too. Everyone looks ugly, let's be honest. The art style is not for me. I hated it. So I didn't even bother reading it.
I'm with you on this one. So apologies to Regine Sawyer, Rob Gleroy, colorist Mike Spicer, Pat Rosero. Sorry, that was a hard pass. That was a hard pass for me.
Yeah, and then it's just and
then of course you've got everybody's favorite couple.
Oh, Nightwing and Starfire.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so I like them as a couple. Honestly, though, I like Nightwing and Babs better, but
Yes.
that's just because of, I love Batgirl or I like Batgirl. But the colors are fantastic, but that's where it stops.
The colors are good. We've had our first official Freya says the colors are great.
The colors are great. That's nice. Yeah, because if you actually look at I don't know what's going on with Nightwing's ass through this thing, but when you get to
what's always going on with his ass?
I don't know what's going on. It's like
his ass gets more. his ass gets more sexualized than Power Girl's boob window. That's all I'm saying.
So,
yeah. And bearing in mind where we're going on the next book, when we talk about sexualized and like body parts, I'm amazed that nobody kicks off about Nightwing's bum the way that other people kick off about other things. But never mind.
Yeah, well, trust me, there are some of us who are like, can you just stop with Nightwing, please? But everything I want to say about this art is summed up in one panel, and you probably know what it is. Page 60. It's page 60 after he gets off the bike, and Starfire is getting, I don't know, something with the flowers, and right there, that last panel with his face. The next one's not any better when he's going in to kiss her. Oh, that's
See, that's why they focus on his butts. They can draw butts, they just can't draw faces.
I could not with this story. I just took one look at his face and went, nope. He's very much a faggot.
Yeah. I didn't see the point of this story. It's like the Corey and Dick romance has gone. It's over. It's been over for decades. I don't understand why we keep going back as if it's some sort of major thing, because it absolutely totally isn't in any shape, way, or form. I mean, she's had other relationships other than Dick Grayson. He's obviously been a player and has Barbara waiting on the wings pretty much all of the time. So everyone knows that it's not going to work with them, and they just need to let it go now. They just need to stop. No matter how hard you try and force this relationship, to kind of say that it's a real thing. And it was back in the 80s, but not so much now. I mean, to keep these two together is a bit of a regression for both of them, I think. But
yeah.
But, that's just me being grumpy.
Yeah, I don't know. Cool. That art was just bad. But anyway, after that, I just kind of gave up after that story. I know there's two more, but I can't take this anymore.
Yeah. I'm with you on this one. I kind of put the book down then. So I've missed. There's a John Ridley story in here. John Ridley is the current writer of the next Batman. So if you're a fan of that book, feel free to check this book out. It's John Stewart. Art by Amanki Nepal, who I've spoke to before for Comic Crusaders on some of his indie stuff. June Chung's on colours and Steve Wan's on letters. I stopped. I'm not gonna lie. I stopped reading, so I couldn't tell you anything about it other than the fact that it's a Green Lantern. That's it.
Yeah.
So is that a poor representation of the book? Well, you know what, we gave it a lot more time than I thought we were going to give it, and bearing in mind there's books out there now. It's an 8-page special. Last year's was better, I thought.
Yeah.
Some Wildcat was in there and some different things. I'm still kind of confused why DC don't want to put Jessica front and center.
I know, I love Jessica, but
hey-ho.
I mean, this is the best opportunity to bring up Katie's, Batwoman's relationship and stuff, and then she's not even in it.
Yeah, and you got to think to yourself. For me, I would have liked to have seen, if you want to have a diverse group of love explained. Right, you've got Batwoman and Maggie, not in this book.
Mhm.
Huntress and the Renee Montoya question, not in this book. Midnighter, not in this book.
Yeah.
These are real characters. Well, these are real characters that DC have put their effort in to create, put the time, make sure that the relationships that they have with their partners are solid, and yet we don't get a single thing. We don't even get an Alan Scott Green Lantern story. And you think, well, anyone who says, well, he's not in the current continuity. Well, neither was Wildcat last year. There was a Wildcat story. So, you've got all this bloody 80-odd years of history. Can we not have... We don't have to have Batman and Catwoman in every single comic.
Yeah.
Ironically, considering where we're going to go next.
Yeah.
Ironically. All right. Okay. So what we'll do, whilst we get our claws out ready for Batman Catwoman 3, why don't you listen to one of our ads, one of our other shows? This one is a show that Freya's never allowed on because she said I was old. Sorry, Freya.
All right.
So it's all right. It's cool. So here's the advert for the Old Timers Comic Book Show. Check it out.
Do you want to find out what makes the professor do his happy dance? Check out the Old Timers Comic Book Show, only on the UCPN.
Oh, Bud doing his happy dance. yeah, that's our theme song. Yeah. So yeah. I said to Josh, I want something a little bit hillbilly, and that's what he came up with. So cool. Right, so that's the Old Timers Comic Book Show, exclusive to our YouTube channel. Go check it out. It talks about older comics. So the tagline is, of course, Old Time Comic Book Shows, where the hosts aren't old, Freya, but the comic books most certainly are. All right, so go check that out for some fun. And of course, Bud dancing is always a blast. There we go. Cool, excellent. So next up is the book that has courted so much noise over the last week, rightly or wrongly. It's fine. It's Batman Catwoman number 3. We'll go through the credits, although by now it's a veritable who's who of DC's big guns. It's written by Tom King, art by Clay Mann, colors by Tomei Mori, and letters by Clayton Cowles. There you go. It's a Black Label book. So Black Label means mature themes ahead. Or at least maybe not mature themes, but certainly mature costumes. There we go. Freya, what did you think of this book?
So I guess I missed out on what the controversy is because
Really? Okay, so I get to do I'll be a proper journal. So this panel aired on Twitter about 3 days before the book hit, and the huge controversy is the sexualization of Helena Wayne. So you've got this frame here, and you can clearly see her belly button right there. So that led people to say that she's naked. Well, she's not naked. She's wearing a grey skin tight, unitard thing, spandexy thing. And that got people's heads in a spin because, well, hold on, how's it so tight you can see the belly buttons? And then to make matters worse, a panel later, you talk about Dick Grayson's bum. There is Helena's bum with the thong included. So let's see if we can. There you go. Can you see that?
Yep.
There you go. So with the thong included. So this caught all sorts of noise on Twitter about the art, about the sexualization of characters. I think we've kind of touched on the male version of this with Dick Grayson's posterior.
Yeah.
So, and of course, this is Clay Mann. Clay Mann's not exactly shy or retiring when it comes to drawing, women in a sexy way. I mean, Heroes in Crisis, for all the problems that it had, and it had some doozies, believe me. For all the problems it had, the art was pretty good all the way through, apart from the 2 filling issues. So, hey ho. There you go. That's the rundown on the controversy. So.
Oh, well, I mean, people have belly buttons.
but do you expect to see them in a comic book? That's the question is. Yeah.
It could have been worse. It could have been
an outing.
Could have been a camel toe. Just be happy it's not that. And that's honestly, when I first looked, I'm like, why isn't she wearing pants? I'm like, oh, it's just the latex suit. And anyone who's actually worn like latex stuff, I mean, depending on the thickness and stuff, you can see a belly button depending on what it is. But
Freya's telling us just a little bit too much information.
I'm not telling a squat about my personal life.
Hold on, latex fishnets and guitar playing. I'm making a list.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't find it a problem. I find it ugly, costume wise.
Yeah.
But I don't find it as a problem because here's the thing. We have Black Canary who runs around. How many superheroes and just people in general run around with their stomach showing, like with booty shorts and stuff, just out in normal day life because they feel like it? She's more covered up than like pretty much everyone I see on the street. So it doesn't bother me. Also, this isn't the first time Bat Thong has been a thing. Did you guys not watch the 90s movie with, Batgirl in it? They had bat nipples and bat thong. So, I mean, that's where you're going to get upset. You should go back to the 90s because they were having that.
Of course, we saw a lot more of Bruce a couple of years back in his Black Label book. Remember in Batman Damned?
Oh, yeah. I own that. But, yeah, also we have...
sold that.
Yeah. Selena's showing her stomach, too. Everyone freaked out. You could see her belly button.
Oh no! Everyone's got like a belly button fetish thing going on.
Yeah, I mean, her and Bruce get down and dirty in this comic too. Oh my gosh, we see Bruce's belly button too. My God.
Well, that's because it's equality. It's very much you show me yours, I'll show you mine type of thing.
I know. It's just it's ridiculous what people are getting upset about. I'm like, yeah, the costume's pretty ugly design wise. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. It definitely is. It's definitely top heavy. It needs something on the bottom half to kind of like balance out a bit. I don't have a problem with the belly button. I don't have a problem with the thong at the back or anything like that. For me, you're absolutely right. I think it's just poorly designed. If she was wearing something, I don't know, if she was wearing like thigh high boots, whether they're flat or heeled or whatever, that would then break up the contours and would maybe elongate the leg a little bit. But then you get grief for like putting like stockings on a superhero. Hashtag fishnet to the best, says Black Canary.
And Zatanna. But and freaking, I mean, Catwoman gets in a fight in her underwear essentially.
Pretty much.
Nothing with that. I mean, also one of my main issues besides, I guess, people being upset about it now, was just the freaking jumping around in time.
Yeah.
I had no idea what the heck, because like, 2 pages and then we're here. And then all of a sudden we cut to Joker. Can we just please have a book that doesn't have any connections to Joker for like a year? Please. I am so sick of Joker. He's not even one of Batman's best villains anymore because he's been so overused. It's annoying. Batman has a huge arsenal of really amazing. Like, when have we had a Zaz book? Have we had
a Zaz Black Label book? Would be the bomb.
But no, we can't do that. Have we had like a Penguin book? Have we had just anyone like a Hush book? Hush. That guy?
Hush. Yeah, Hush.
Batman has a ton of villains and they're not using them. And now Catwoman's not a villain anymore, which is also very boring. And I'm just but whatever. But and Raj Al Ghul, I can't think of the time, like last time I've seen Raj. Like, villain. Yeah. And then Yeah, the jump cuts, they kind of hint that Batman's dead. I don't know if it's because I just missed it in the last one. But the jumping from time just really ruined the flow of this book. And I don't know why the hell Joker's in a safe and why he didn't suffocate, because safes are airtight, so he'd be dead. But like, I don't know what the hell's going on.
So I think you're right. The jump cuts do kind of get a little bit tedious after a while. I think there's enough going on that keeps you interested. I agree with you that the Joker is massively overused, but I think that said, I think how he's used here, how he kind of gives Selina some information that that he knows that she can't tell Batman, because Batman will turn around and say, "Well, how do you know?" And then you find out that she's been hanging out with the Joker. That would kind of like throw a spanner in the works. So now the Joker's proper playing games with Selina, which makes it an interesting take. It's like instead of going after Batman, he's going after Selina for a little bit. So it's interesting for that. I don't mind Helena Wayne as the new Batwoman, Batgirl, Bat Vigilante, whatever you want to call her. The art for the most part works really well, although I'm not keen on this panel here in the middle, because what's this here? I don't understand. Just because like, how do things really bend like that? I don't think they do. There's not a joint there. You shouldn't be like that. But overall, I thought the art was really good. Somewhere along the line, I don't know if it's me, but haven't we lost sight that that Andrew Beaumont's missing?
Yeah.
Wasn't that the point of Phantasm coming back? Or is it alluded that this is Andrew Beaumont in the Phantasm suit?
No, because they showed who it was previously, I think in like the first one. And like I said, it's these jump cuts because you have essentially like 3 different stories going on at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's confusing because it just jumps from one to the other, and it has no clear continuity.
I think some of this we're going to have to read kind of once it's done. We're going to have to read it like all 12 issues, one after the other, just to kind of get the flow. I agree. I'd prefer much more linear storytelling, or at least less jump cuts. If you're going to do it, you know, you've got to. You can't keep teasing us along with 3 different storylines, because you know, with 3 issues in, it doesn't feel like we've actually progressed anywhere yet. You know, we've only got 1 more issue, and that's effectively the first arc done. Yeah, we're quarter of the way in, so you know, come on, let's get some more meat and potatoes. As for Bruce dying, he was dead in one of the Batman annuals that Tom King wrote. So is this a continuation of that theme? I'm not sure, but no, I enjoyed it. It's still got enough going on for me, I think, to keep me interested. If for the naysayers about the art, I will say this: that if you don't like the art, don't buy the book. No one's saying you have to buy the book. You know, it's.
I'm not buying it.
Yeah, if you don't like it, don't buy it. It's as simple as that. If you don't like it, what you shouldn't do is buy the book, then whinge about buying the book. You know, that's like going in and saying, do you know what I really hate? I really hate a Big Mac, but I'm going to go to McDonald's and I'm going to order a Big Mac and then I'm going to complain about it. Well, you're not doing yourself any favors. Serve yourself the grief, move on, and buy something that you do like.
Yeah.
Simple. All right. Cool. Excellent. All right. Okay. So that's the Batcat 3 out of the way. So next up, we were quite surprised, I think, if memory serves, by the first part of this book. We're going to talk about Future State, our only Future State book we're going to talk about today. And it's the Shazam book, which I think kind of surprised us all, if memory serves. So Let me grab my notes. So Shazam, script by Tim Sheridan, pencils by Eduardo Pansica, inks by Julio Ferreira, colors by Marcello Maiolo, letters by Rob Lee. There you go. Cool. And on the cover, we've got Billy, we've got, it looks like a Trigon Raven thing going on, and we've got, of course, the Shazamster himself, Captain Marvel. Not the Carol Danvers one, I hasten to add. All right, Freya, kind of like threw this one in last minute. So what was your take on the Shazam book?
From all the Future State books, I liked this one from start to finish. They kind of ruined the surprise reveal at the end on the cover. So good job, guys.
Yeah, well done, guys. Woohoo! Yeah.
Good job. Let's just promote the end. So overall, I like the story. It explains like why Shazam's going around killing people. He's seeing the demons and stuff. And that's what, it explains. It fills in most of the plot. Well, I feel like it fills in the plot holes. If there's one missing, then whatever. And it even explains the guy in the shadows following them around, who that is, and Dead Man shows up. But yeah, I liked it. The ending was good, but like I said, they ruined the surprise reveal that, surprise, surprise, the person behind the door was, Demonic Raven, which you can tell this character was created in freaking Teen Titans Go by the name of this character. The unkindness. Yeah, that's totally a Teen Titans Go name.
Yeah. That's like a Teen Titans Starfire name, isn't it? Yeah.
The unkindness. I'm like, really, guys? That's okay. Okay. But I do like Raven, and I am excited to see her as a villain because she, her demon blood coming out. So I was like, yeah, that'll be fun. I like evil Raven, just Raven in general. So yeah.
I'm a Raven fan. To be fair, I like Raven.
Yeah. So other than that, I don't really have. To keep it short, I don't have too many gripes with like the artwork. I think the art was
really
fun.
I've never seen the Spectre look so buff. He's on Venom. Look at him.
Yeah, well, besides the Spectre, that's nitpicky, and I'm trying to keep.
I don't know how you dare call me nitpicky of art. Really? Oh my good God! You've changed.
Okay. I'm trying to keep it short. If I wanted to go through and like say everything I wanted to say about like the art and stuff, we'd be here for a long time.
Yeah, get yourselves comfy, guys. Bring the popcorn.
Yeah, because he is pulling some like Chris Redfield from Resident Evil 5 muscle biceps. So, but like I said, I was trying to get through this quickly because we spent a lot of time on the first book, and that's my fault.
Fine. No, that's good. I didn't mind this book at all. I kind of agree with you that it would. If we weren't doing this pod, I wouldn't have picked this up to look at it. But we looked at it. We quite enjoyed it. The second one carries that along. I agree. Why would you put the end on the cover? Absolutely no point. My only issue with it, apart from some of the wonky art, is I hate this last bit. All right? The unkindness returns in Future State Black Adam. Why, DC? Why do you tell us that this is a 2-issue story and then go and conclude it somewhere else?
They did the same thing with Metals.
I know, but I didn't read Metals for exactly this. They do it all the time. If it's Batman 100 with the extra stories they put in, or Detective 1027 with the extra stories they put in, it's always this will be continued later in the year. It's like, for Christ's sake, just put in the full story. If it's going to be 2 issues, make it 2 issues. If you want it to be more issues, fine. Future State Shazam should be 4 issues like some of the other Future State books are. That way you get the story told.
Yep. Well, at least they kind of did that with Wonder Woman for the most part. Like her story was self-contained. Like
the new Wonder Woman, yeah. Not
yeah,
the
I
old
mean
one,
they had her in other books, but I mean like her actual story of her going into the underworld, that was self-contained. Like
it
that
was.
didn't have no connections to anything else.
And
But
how stronger was that for that though? How much better was you felt you'd read a full story? You can put it down and go, yes, I know who this character is. I don't have to go looking around for other things. Yeah, she's in other things if I want to go and look at it, but for an origin story, boof, there it was. So
yeah,
I agree with you. That's just, you know,
I mean, freaking Spectre was even in the Wonder Woman book.
Oh man,
and
like,
Superman, like,
and Swamp Thing was in the Wonder Woman book,
and so was Nebula,
Nubia.
Nubia.
Hold on, there's an advert in this book for us, so let's check.
No,
there
don't.
You go. There it is. The Nubia. There you go.
That artwork. I mean, I am a freaking manga fan, and so they're like graphic novels and stuff. So they're like graphic novels. I'm like, graphic novel does not mean cheap crap art that looks like it's something that someone on Tumblr drew, you know, of their fan-made character.
I mean, this is a young adult book, so bearing in mind it's not aimed or geared towards you or I. So, you know, let's kind of just keep that in mind. Although I will say, no need for the legs to be that long and the trousers to be so high. Just saying.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Even if you're younger, you know what good art looks like. Like, I would feel insulted to go on me as a teenager to buy this book because I would have been like, no, because guess what? There's manga, you know, Japanese manga and other things. And then you're like, oh, here's this. And it looks like someone who created a fan fiction. Like, this is what my OC character looks like. You know? That's what the art style reminds me of, is this Tumblr stuff. And I'm like, sorry, just because you're young doesn't mean you don't know. Like, I know high schoolers who can draw better than this.
All right, good, cool. Fair shout. No, it's cool.
That was
no, it's fine. I'll tell you. I asked about the art. I didn't expect to get a critique on the advert. Anyway, so right. So we're done. We're nearly done with the future state. We've had Batman. The next Batman's issues 1 through 4. I think we're still waiting for a Dark Detective to come, if I'm not mistaken. We've had the Wonder Woman books. We've had the Swamp Thing books. We've just talked about the Shazam books now. The Supergirl book's done and done. I think Green Lantern 2 is been out. So now's a really good time to ask this question, Freyja. Do you think Future State has been a success?
Well,
she's clearing her throat, guys and girls. We're in trouble.
I do know that they turned a profit. However, I think that was mostly due to people's curiosity more than anything. But if we're going with like just the books in general, I think the new Wonder Woman, who I can't remember her name, but the one from the South America.
I think Yara Flaw.
Yara, yeah. So Yara, I feel like her Future State book, not the what was it called, Immortal Wonder Woman. I mean the actual like Wonder Woman book. I think that was a success. I think that Shazam was a success, and for people who like Swamp Thing books and stuff, I think Swamp Thing was a success for those type of books, because that's kind of Swamp Thing. However, I think the Batman, the next Batman, I think that was just a freaking disaster. Also, I love Nightwing, but the Nightwing books were also a freaking disaster, and it was mostly because they can't seem to keep like their new characters to their own books, and for some reason we have the new Batman in the Nightwing book, so then it doesn't feel like a Nightwing book because freaking Batman's in it.
And there's a Dark Detective as well.
And Dark Detective. And I mean, so I want to say overall, no. Because overall, at least to me, if you like the books, great. But overall, I didn't like most of the books, even with characters I did enjoy.
Uh-huh.
So I'm gonna say no. Like, I hated the Catwoman books.
Okay.
I'm just done with Catwoman, to be perfectly honest. She's
Okay.
like freaking Joker to me now. I'm like, I hate whenever she's around. And the I don't know. It's I didn't like them. I don't know. They all kind of. I think mostly because they're not contained to their own stories. That's my main issue.
Okay.
If they all like Yora and they had their own like book and story that made sense and they were just introducing these characters, that would be great. But I'd be like, this is what's going on with Nightwing. But they're not. They're just really mixing it.
Yeah.
Making it weird.
So I kind of agree with you to a certain extent. I think you're absolutely right. The Eurofloor Wonder Woman book was fantastic. Both issues were great. Definitely go and check those out if they're still in the comic book shops, and if you can get there safely, of course. The next Batman for me has been, I'm not going to say disappointing because I didn't have high expectations. I find it pointless. I think all the next Batman has proven is how much we enjoy Bruce Wayne, not Batman.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. We enjoy Bruce Wayne. The Nightwing book's a throwaway book. I quite enjoyed the Supergirl book because, Supergirl's my guilty pleasure. And it was something different. And I liked that. I thought, well, that was the point of Future State, was to do something different. And yet, while Swamp Thing embraced that, books ended up being exactly the same. It's like, the Batman Superman book. Well, all right, so it's just new Batman, new Superman, nothing different. The new Justice League book. It's just the Justice League, but exactly the same. It was just pointless. And I kind of think to myself, with all the different characters they've got going on, that DC have, there's no Green Arrow, there's no Canary. Zatanna was heavily featured on the posters of being in there, and she's hardly in the Justice League Dark Story.
Yeah.
So it's like, no Power Girl.
It's kind of the same with like Red X, like in the Teen Titans.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, Red X. And then he's just kind of, I mean, he's there, but he kind of is a background character. Like, even in all the shots with like the Teen Titans, he's in the back.
Yeah, he's Boba Fett. That's who he is.
And I was like, I remember being excited because I loved Red X because I liked the old Teen Titans.
Uh-huh.
But then it's like, yeah, it was just kind of disappointing.
So I feel that Future State hasn't been the critical success that I think DC would have hoped it would be. Of course, this is just my opinion. There's probably hundreds of people who loved whatever. That's fine. And that's the good thing about opinions. They're neither right nor wrong. They're just different. So stick with it. If you guys liked the next Batman, great. You'll buy the book when it comes out as a maxi series later in the year. That's fine. For those of us that like Nightwing being Nightwing, don't forget, middle of March, Nightwing 78 comes out. We're back to basics. It's Nightwing and Bloodhaven. A couple of other characters thrown in. If you want to check an advanced review of that, go check Comic Crusaders. They've got an advanced review of that book as we speak. So, there is some light at the end of the tunnel. Are there going to be any ramifications of Future State? Well, there wasn't much one of that Future's End.
No.
Or Convergence. Do you remember Convergence?
Nope.
Woo!
Not really.
There's 2 months out of my schedule.
I have a question, though, that just popped in my head. They had this whole... People were making a big deal about Damian and stuff. Was he even in a book? Because I can't remember what book he's in. He's not in Teen Titans. And he's not in the new Batman. He's not in Nightwing.
Is it because he's getting a new book? There's a new book coming out. It's been solicited. It's going to be Robin and Batman. So he's going to get.
They said this was like his Future State outfit, and so I'm just like, where was he? He wasn't in Superboy or Superman.
I haven't seen him, to be fair. In fact, I haven't seen him since he yelled at Bruce and left the Teen Titans. So
Yeah, 13-year-old just disappeared.
Check your milk
Parenting.
cartons.
Great parenting, Bruce. Good job.
Well, at least he's alive. He's not dead again. So, you know, that's always a win for a Robin. All right, guys, there you go. That's the end of this pod. Thanks very much for Freya. Freya, thanks for taking part. Always good.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, had a blast. Don't forget to check out the UCPN for all your favorite shows, including Freya.
K-pop Cosmos, which is once a month. The new episode that we're going to be talking about is a girl group, and I should have invited you, Johnny. You would have loved it.
We're talking fishnets.
Oh, they have fishnets. So, and short shorts and midriffs and all that stuff.
What's the name of this band? Let me just write this down.
Just look up any girl group, honestly.
You know what? When K-pop's when's this going to happen? Is this live now?
No, we already recorded it, so you missed out. I'm sorry. But yeah, so they're a big. They are Korea's nation girl group. So yeah, look forward to that, everybody.
Cool. Excellent. And my frustration is obviously showing on my face. All right, okay. And of course, you've just seen that for the old timers. You've also got the Jank Think Tank, which is the new Magic Gathering show, and of course our Marvel show with the No Prize podcast, which of course will be talking about WandaVision. Yeah, just so you know, cross Nova universes might sound cool if you're an X-Man to WandaVision, but the Flashers did it first in Crisis. Yes, they did. Go check it out. All right. All that's left for me to say is this is Johnny the Machine Hughes. Adios.